Well, that's just some background of the man I'm about to talk to. A huge pleasure to welcome to the show businessman Kenny Kunene. Mr. Kunene, good morning to you. Always good to talk to you as well. I would like to start with some of the comments that have come out of the Oscar Pistorius bail hearing from last week. It claims that you and Oscar Pistorius are friends. People are questioning that. Take me through this. How are you and Oscar Pistorius friends?
We met with Oscar when Gaten and I and Oscar and them were doing the Nike Just Do It campaign, going to schools and inspiring young people. And we developed a bond with Oscar, because of our respect. We were really inspired by him, to come from where he was to be who he is. And at the time, I was not known. And after the Nike Just Do It campaign, we would ask Oscar to join us in Soweto when we go to schools. And he would always oblige.
So you do have a standing relationship with Oscar Pistorius, is what I'm trying to get to.
We have a standard relationship. I don't understand people thinking that I would go and say Oscar is my friend and he's not my friend. I know Oscar, his birthday in November, he invited us to the Orient, but we couldn't make it because we were hosting some producers from the UK. I'm not that dumb.
I want to bring up on one or two comments. I would like your thoughts on this. Let me, if I can, read for a moment. I want to say personally, after hearing his version of the story, I believe in his innocence, but people should remember that we must be impartial, unlike people who have already passed judgment on Pistorius. Do you understand the hypocrisy in that comment, being impartial yet saying he's innocent? I mean, you understand perhaps the criticism.
No. Look, I'm saying, personally, I believe in his innocence. However, his innocence, his version of events still has to be tested in court. You must also go on, follow other tweets where I said the principle of innocent until proven guilty is an integral part of our constitution, therefore it has to be respected. And that was after a deputy mayor in the Eastern Cape went on national TV and in papers saying Oscar must die in jail, Oscar must die in court, Oscar is an animal. Such comments are childish, irresponsible, and stupid, because a political leader should know that there are court processes. And Oscar has presented himself to the courts so that he can clear his name. Now, she was acting as if she is the prosecutor and the judge, and Oscar is guilty. And that is why I mentioned that we need to be impartial.
So supportive, in fact, that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kunene, you were willing to pay the bail for Oscar Pistorius. Is that correct?
Look, I never said I want to pay Oscar's bail.
Okay.
Oscar is managed enough. He's got a family that is doing very well. I said if Oscar calls on me to help him, I will.
When it comes to the
as
money,
he has, by the way.
Yes, of course. I was about to ask you about that as well. And have you paid anything towards his bail at all?
No, I haven't paid anything. His family and himself took care of that.
Why not do if they were to accept the money, and we now know they haven't, why, some people suggesting, has Kenny Kunene tried to steal the spotlight from Oscar Pistorius?
I don't understand this. I'm supporting my friend. When politicians have criminal cases against them, you've got friends of this, people that they don't even know, going to court and toying outside of court, disturbing the court procedures and trying to influence the judgment that must come out of the case. Here, I go to court, I sit down like everybody else. And by the way, I must make it very clear, I'm not looking for a spotlight, I'm not looking for publicity, I'm not looking for fame. I am famous. I am in the spotlight internationally. I did interviews with New York Times, 30 million eyes reading my story. I've done interviews with Boston radio stations, German 95. I've done interviews with media all over the world. I am famous. I'm not looking for fame.
No one is doubting how well known you are. I certainly was not doubting that for a second. On the back of how well known you are you going to be willing to admit to me that you are a supporter of the Oscar Pistorius and the Pistorius family? Is that a fair statement to make? You support the Pistorius family?
I support Oscar Pistorius.
Will you support his brother if he goes to court for culpable homicide? Will you support his brother?
I don't know Carl. I only knew Carl. We met in court. But I know Oscar. Hence, I am supporting a friend. You must understand, Oscar has many other friends. And there are those who stand by him even now, except me. Some of them have even given statements, affidavits in court to to give their version of what they know about Oscar and River. And I respect that. And there are those who have now stood away, who are distancing themselves from Oscar because of fear of hypocrites and this conservative society that's so hypocritical sometimes.
Some people are calling you insensitive to River Steenkamps' family because of your outward and public and well-known support of Oscar Pistorius. Some are saying you're insensitive to River Steenkamps' family.
I have said on many occasions that my support for Oscar does not mean my heart doesn't go out to River's family. They have lost a daughter, I have daughters. However, it doesn't mean that now I must hide my moral support that I give to a friend. I will support Oscar. I love Oscar. And Oscar has done a lot for disadvantaged children. Oscar has done a lot for people with disabilities. He continues to be an inspiration. He's an icon in as far as I'm concerned. He's a living legend. Yeah. And therefore, I will continue to support him. But that doesn't mean that I neglect the pain that the Steenkamps are going through.
So we've established, excuse me, Mr. Kunene, we've established that you do and you are willing to help friends in need, for example, when and if they do call upon you. Your words.
The one thing I know is friendship.
One thing you know is friendship. Would you say you and Julius Malema are friends, and would you
we
support
are not friends.
him? You're not friends.
We are not friends. We are just comrades. Julius was the leader of the ANC Youth League, and I'm interested in the well-being and the empowerment of young people, and that is how we met. And of course, Julius defended me when the big mouth Vavi attacked me. He was the only politician or leader that defended me, my right as a business person to enjoy my money as I please.
And rights of employees of Aurora Mines, will you be supporting them as well, looking forward at the issues they've got? You're looking to empower young people on the Aurora issue. How are you supporting them to come right? As a final question to you, Mr. Kunene.
Look, I'm not a unionist. COSATU, NAM and them must focus on making sure that the interests of the workers are taken care of. Ask me about my workers. I've never had complaints about my workers. I pay them well, I treat them well. That's fine for me.
Kenny Kunene, thank you very much for coming in this morning.